Welcome to Short Shifts from the Hockey Think Tank podcast, boys. Jeffrey Scott Vechs here. My partner in crime, Toph, Ryan Scott. He has no idea what I'm about to say. He never does. Nobody does. But Toph, our topic tonight that we're going to talk about might be a little different for you because
you were excited about this one too.
I was excited. I thought about this in the car on the way home from seeing you today, driving home from Christmas. I wanted to talk about some of your favorite hockey presents you ever got. Around Christmas, you wake up and I'm anything to do with hockey. Like when you were younger, I remember I got the Ed Belfour street hockey set. I'm pretty sure it was the Ed Belfour goalie mask and the glove and the blocker. And dude, I remember smelling them. They smelled like that new, probably cancerous plastic smell. And it was just the eagle on both sides. And I wore that thing for years. And for me, that's one of the ones that stood out the most when I was thinking about this. Do you have any Christmas present or any present hockey present memories?
You want to know, actually, it's so funny that you talk about this right now, because I'm gonna get a little vulnerable right now.
Okay.
My wife actually just gave me an unbelievable present 2 days ago, Christmas morning.
Okay.
So, as you know, and many of our listeners who listen, one of my best friends, my teammate, my roommate, my line mate at Cornell passed away earlier this year. His name's Ray Sawada. And what many of us didn't really know, kind of knew a little bit, but didn't really know because he couldn't talk about it, was that he was the person who kind of wore the sensors for all of the NHL video games, like Xbox, PlayStation, all that stuff. So once a year, or not once a year, is plenty of different times, he would meet up with EA Sports and, they would put the sensors on him and he would do all this hockey stuff. And literally, when you're looking at NHL, whatever you're playing, you're watching him. Those are his movements, right? And so now that I know that, and I remember playing that, it's him, man. He was my line mate. I know all of his idiosyncrasies and movements and all that kind of stuff. And so I haven't played video games in, I can't even tell you how long, certainly since I had kids, but even before that, when I was coaching at Cornell, I didn't even have an Xbox or anything like that. And so this Christmas, literally a couple days ago, Em got me an Xbox and NHL 24 so I could play the game and watch my buddy, rest in peace, Raymond, on TV, playing the game. And so I don't know, that, talk about a pretty cool present. I'm getting kind of emotional even thinking about it right now because I miss him a lot. And especially this time of year, just it's his first Christmas not with his family, and thinking about Nicole and his girls and stuff. But yeah, it was crazy. I opened it up and I was like, I need a minute. I'm gonna walk away for a minute and I'm gonna come back here. I just needed a second to kind of just be alone in my thoughts and stuff. But I don't know, man. I can't think of anything better than that. I know there were a couple Christmases where I got awesome sticks, the Easton Synergy, how cool those were back in the day.
Oh yeah. I never used one.
Really?
How about I never used a Sin Bomb in my entire career?
Seriously?
Because when I got to USHL, my first year, synergies were just a thing, and I had been using two pieces. Hilarious that kids don't even know what a two piece means. We do. No. And so I used the Z bubble with the Focus Flex because I didn't want to change, and so I used that all 3 years in juniors, and then I first started using a one piece stick when I was a freshman in college.
That's hilarious.
Hilarious. Never used a Sin Bomb. Greatest stick ever made, probably.
At some point, we need to do a short shifts on how sticks used to be and talk about heating up the glue gun. And you know what I mean? Kids will have no idea what that is.
I used to torch my wood blades. I'd be standing over the stove. I was like MacGyver, and I was heating
Exactly.
up my blade, and I would always break them way too soon. My parents like, you break a lot of blades, and it was clearly because I didn't know what I was doing. I was
Because
just
you were heating them up and curving it, and
heating
yeah.
it up, curving it, cutting off the toe, using a saw to make the blade shorter. So it also, when I slashed guys, it would hurt more because the toe was like a knife. Like, what
Putting on the
was it?
foil, coach.
Yeah, yeah. I remember one year I got a real net, like a real like hockey net. And to me,
Mm-hmm.
that was like the coolest present ever. And I think that was literally the net I used like all the way until after college. Like I used it my whole life. I think my parents bought it in Canada or something. I don't even know. I remember one year I got roller balls. You know what those are?
No.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't know. They were terrible. My mom, I convinced her to buy them for me off QVC because my mom loved QVC. Colleen, I know you're listening, and I know you're going to say you didn't love QVC, but you had a problem. I will say that. We all know it. I
You're
love
outing
you.
your mom right
She
now.
loved QVC. She's going to text me as soon as she hears this, whenever this drops. But there was a commercial for these roller balls. It was like the new and improved rollerblade, and it only had two balls, ball in the front, ball in the back.
Oh
And
my.
instead of wheels, it like rotated all these different ways.
Ooh.
They were terrible.
Actually,
Terrible.
now that you say that, I think for Christmas, and again, this is so long ago, so it might not have happened, but I'm thinking in my head that it happened now, getting like a pair of rollerblades that looked like hockey skates. Because like when we were growing up,
Ooh, yeah.
like all of the rollerblades looked like rollerblades. You know, they had the
Yeah.
stopper in the back,
The
and
stopper. The
yeah, but
company,
like
they looked like the company rollerblade. Like that's how they looked. They weren't hockey
yeah.
skates.
And so getting actual like rollerblades that looked like hockey skates, because look, like, and this is something that like kids like today, like, do you know how much we played roller hockey back in the day? Like
Street
roller hockey
hockey.
was a big thing.
You
Like
mean like
it was
street hockey?
yeah, street hockey,
Street
like street,
hockey, yeah.
but even like 4-on-4, like roller hockey leagues. Like in the summer, there was a place in town that like we kind of played spring league, but it was like once a week. You know, we weren't on the ice very much, but we played roller hockey. There were like leagues that were unreal, and so like yeah, I got like roller blades that looked like hockey skates, and like that was sick.
So nasty.
How
I
about
I
you? Like what else?
Milet goalie pads. Do you remember those? Where you
Oh
could like
yeah,
run, you
like
could
plastic
sprint in
ones.
them. Yeah, and you could slide on the street for like
Ooh.
55 feet because it
Mhm.
was like that black plastic, and the part that touched your legs was like crappy foam, and the straps. I'd play in shorts when I was playing goalie with my Belfour helmet on, and the straps would like make my skin bleed, and I didn't care. I'd just be out there just diving around the streets. What else? The
Actually,
rollerblades.
you know what? Now that I think about it, you and I got the same present once. That was sick. And it was from our Aunt Kim and Uncle Dave. And they knew Steve Thomas really well. Steve Thomas played a million years in the NHL.
Yep.
And at the time, he was playing with the Red Wings. And they knew that Steve Eiserman was my idol. And I think not quite your idol, but you loved him kind of thing. You
Yep.
were a Sakic guy, right?
Yeah,
You were
huge
all about
Sakic
Joe
guy.
Sakic. But they got us signed Steve Eiserman Red Wings jerseys. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah. Sick presents.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Uncle Dave and Aunt Kim.
Yeah, I remember you were pitching a tent that Christmas. I remember that. That was at your old house. You were Mr. Stevie Y. You were
I was pretty
real.
well, dude. I mean, he's my idol, right? So
Yeah,
like I wore
yeah,
19. That's why I wore 19.
yeah.
And yeah, that was pretty cool.
I'm trying to think if there were any other really good hockey Christmas ones. Those were the
I mean,
those were
for
the
me,
main
like
ones.
a lot like video games, like
Yeah.
NHL 95 on Sega Genesis type stuff, like whatever the newest. And also I tweeted this actually the other day. Anytime we went up, we usually had like a tournament in Toronto right around Christmas time, like at some
Mhm.
point in like December or January. And every time we went up there, my parents would buy me the latest Don Cherry's Rock'em Sock'em video.
Oh,
Like
legendary.
like again, old guys here talking, but like all the parents who are involved in hockey will know what these are. And like the kids need to. I like imagine like, oh man, those were the best. Don Cherry
Just go
Rock'em
on
Sock'em
YouTube. They gotta be
videos.
on YouTube,
They
right? Like,
have to be on YouTube. Go on YouTube and look up Don Cherry Rock'em Sock'em. And I guarantee you, you will go down a rabbit hole that will be the best rabbit hole you've ever been on.
The greatest thing ever. The hockey highlights on those probably look hilarious to kids now, though. Like the game of hockey back then compared to now.
Yeah,
but
him just butchering all the Europeans' names
on purpose.
On purpose. Some of them maybe on purpose. Yarmy Jaeger.
Well, if you guys got a kick out of this one, when this one comes out and we put on our Instagram or YouTube, you got to comment your favorite Christmas hockey presents, because I'd love to hear some of your guys' other ones. We love you. Please share the show.
Love you guys. Share the show.